What's going on, dividend investors? Welcome back to Mango Invest, and we're looking at the three YieldMax companies that are in the portfolio at the moment. Before we get into it, I think it's important to discuss, these companies are very volatile, so I think it's important to make sure that you have the bulk of your money within your portfolio into long-standing trusted ETFs that track the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq 100. So just to give you guys some sort of idea, if this is your first time to the channel, we have QYLD that comes in at 16.8% of the portfolio. JEPQ, that's coming in at 15.8%, and then skipping one company, we'll go to SCHD, and that's sitting at 10.9%. And then all these little holdings here are all other dividend companies, but also growth companies such as Apple and Microsoft, Tesla. But this is where the YieldMax sort of sit in here. So it's a very small chunk of the portfolio. So make sure you do your research and you do a lot of analysis into what you're buying before you buy it. But the first one, we're looking at CONY. So again, they all write covered calls. It's a covered call strategy. This one just tracks Coinbase. Okay, so basically the market fluctuations are going to track how the underlying company is performing, and by this means this one's going to be Coinbase. But this is just to give you a rough understanding of what the past year performance is. Most of these YieldMax ETFs are very new onto the market, and there's even more coming out as we speak. So every day, every week, there's always like a new covered call company sort of coming out. But this is just a rough dividend yield, 150%. Again, with these ones, it's based off the profit that they do make with the covered call. So and this is why it's so risky, right? Like one week you might get one that pays 83 cents per share, which was the last CONY payment, all the way up to like $2 and $2.50 per share. So again, if you can accept that volatility, it's definitely a good one. But here back in October of 2024, you can see my first two buys there. And I think just by watching other dividend investors on YouTube, I've started to gauge what my buy price is compared to what their buy price would be, and I can see a lot of dividend investors are in the negative by thousands and thousands of dollars. So I think they've bought up at this sort of range here. So I was just very lucky to buy in at that price around $12.59. So I got very lucky there, and then we've reached a little bit of a spike, and then we've bought more when it hit below $12 per share. So if we click in here, you can see one purchase. I got very lucky at a price of $11.95, and then the next one was at $11.96, I think it was, or maybe it was, so they're both at the same price there. So overall, the total equity is sitting at $17,513. And $355 of that is total profit. I've got 1,342 shares, and we have $12.78 at an average buy price. The current stock price is now over that, being $13.05. Just give us a sec so I can have a sip of my coffee. So we'll go have a look at the dividends shortly after we cover all the companies. We'll just head over to MINY, again, which is the YieldMax covered call version of Moderna, the pharmaceutical company based in the US. Again, these are the recent buys. So we've seen a massive downturn with not just this company, but just remember, because it does track the underlying company being Moderna, that had a massive drop by over, I think, like 30 to 40% or something like that. So naturally, this fund's gonna follow suit. So again, dividend yield 169%. The payments do fluctuate yet again, but the total equity so far is 10,697. As you can see there, I'm actually negative by 2,253. I've got 2,523 shares at an average buy price of $5.13. So because that buy price is $5.13, moving over to the left, the current buy price is now down to $4.24. And that's how I've got my negative $2,253 there, which is 17.40%. again, which is pretty annoying. But again, as dividend investors, we've got to learn to deal with the volatility. If we can, hold that company and just reap in the dividends every single month, imagine if it does skyrocket in price. Who knows? You could even get some very good growth with that company as well. But that's Moderna in a nutshell. Now the last one, where are we? MISTY. So everyone knows MISTY, very very popular. The underlying company for this one is MicroStrategy. This is the past yearly performance. So I feel like within the last year we've got a low of $19. It's currently sitting at $31.15 here. Again, the dividend yield is just over 100%. Again, it fluctuates quite a bit. Now, so I've got 376 shares there at an average buy price of $28.66. So I'm currently in profit by just over 8%, which is $936. Therefore, the total equity being $11,730. So, they're the YieldMax ETFs within the portfolio. Drop a comment below if you invest in these companies. I want to know how many shares that you own and how much it sort of generates you an income. That'd be pretty cool to see how other guys are going with it. But let's have a look at the dividends, because you're probably all interested just to see how much dividends you can receive. With all these YieldMax ETFs. We'll just have a look at. Let's go back to November, and we'll go all the way to the 16th of January. Right, and we'll click in the filter. We'll just have a look at the dividends. Right, we'll scroll all the way down. So let's just have a look at. Right, so CONY. So this is the very first dividend, and they pay me $2,219 just for their first payment. And I remember I was so excited when I saw that payment come in, because this is US currency, right? If we were to convert that to Australian currency, we're looking at plus of over $3,500, just in one payment, and that's every single month. But again, what you'll notice is they don't pay, that amount every single time. So at this stage, they paid $2.02 for every single share, which was pretty good. Moving up, we have the next one being CONY. So I hadn't bought any other YieldMax as yet. But this time they only paid $1.34 per share. So therefore I only got $1,468 for that month. And this is where we started to buy all the other companies here. So we might see some other payments here. We don't have a MISTY payment yet. That was more of a recent purchase. So within the near future, hopefully we do see some payments from MISTY. We'll just see how much they pay. MINY, so we got the first payment from them, which is a very low one. $501, okay, and they paid 25 cents per share again, which is pretty annoying. But like I was saying, you have to accept that volatility. If you stay tuned and subscribe to the channel, we'll show you the next payment from MINY, and we'll see how much that sort of fluctuates there. CONY again paid me another, very very low dividend here. I remember I was looking at some other dividend investing channels, and they were pretty shocked at the 83 cents per share on this one as well. So again, pretty annoying, but it is a low month now, but who knows what the next payment will be. Maybe the next payment might be $2.50 per share. Like, who the hell knows? And I have done more recent purchases and bought some more shares, so that payment could be plus of $3,000 USD. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But thanks for watching the video, guys. If you did enjoy it, thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video.